So in this video right here, we are going to talk about the midfield 3, or it could be the midfield 2. The point is that central midfield position is extremely important. Is it the most important position on the football pitch? Drop it in the comments below, because I actually do think the goalkeeper is the most important position on the pitch, because your team may not have the best performance, but if your goalkeeper keeps you in the game, there could be a chance to win or draw that game. I hope that makes sense. The goalkeeper can be the most important player on the pitch. But anyway, we are talking about the midfield 3 right here. Certain movements, rotations that they can make, and also when they are being man marked very closely here, what do they do? And I strongly recommend getting a piece of paper and being ready to take notes, because this, honestly, is a big one. Now let's get straight into it. So when the centre back has the ball here, yes, the opposition have a striker and the two wingers in this position right here. Let's take away the front three. Let's just focus on the build phase and these three midfielders here. The closest player to the ball, what do they need to do? Do they go to the ball, which means that the centre-back has less space and, in fact, now there's more pressure on the ball? Or does the closest midfielder think 2 steps ahead and say, you know what, I'm going to move away from the ball? Very simple. Moving away from the ball opens up space. And if this midfielder stays and decides to go towards the ball, if you're this midfielder here, you receive the ball behind this line on the half turn, ready to play forward. So let's say this midfielder moves away and drags this player with them. If you're this midfielder here, what do you do? Do you stand there, or do you run slightly closer to the ball? Slightly. The key word is slightly. You're not running there. You're here in line with the goalkeeper in a way, right? Central. Because when this left centre back steps and the striker is pressing, yes, you're going to have a player behind you, but notice how there's an opportunity to receive the ball, and then if this player decides to jump, once again, first touch pass out to this space. Or if this winger is now tucking in, you can play out to your left back. Very, very simple. Or if this winger's inside, the ball just goes straight out to the fullback. So if you're this midfielder, notice how this one movement away from the ball has created problems. If this winger stays, you can receive the ball. If the midfielder follows, you've opened up space, your centre-back can step. Potentially, the striker that's playing further up the pitch can drop in, receive a vertical pass, and then there could be a set, and then there could be another pass to you if you're this midfielder. So notice how, once again, moving away from the ball has positive ripple effects for your team if everyone is on the same page, which is why you need to send this video to your teammates and tag them in the comments below, honestly. Because once you understand this, your team, you and your midfield partners would be able to be on the same page and play very fast, free-flowing football. Because when everyone is on the same page, football becomes more than just football, doesn't it? It becomes like a work of art. And that's possible if everyone understands what their movements mean. If this player moves away and this player follows, this one can move towards the ball. Now, if they receive the ball under pressure, as we said, if this player jumps to the ball, thinking that they can win it, as a centre midfielder, you should be thinking 1, 2, 3 steps ahead. You can play this one-touch pass around the corner. This midfielder can take the ball in the half turn, and then there'll be a winger out here, can play out to the winger, or this player can drive with the ball and then play. And further up the pitch, it's about combination play, it's about decision making. The focus of this video is the build-up phase. And then when this midfielder moves away and this midfielder moves towards the ball, what should you do here if you're this player here, as the number 8, as the number 10, as the most advanced midfielder? Your job is to operate in between the lines, moving away in line with the ball, because if the centre defensive midfielder follows you, now your striker can drop in. Yes, they're being marked by a centre back, but if the striker drops in and the centre back follows, then obviously there's so much space in behind, right? Because you have the right back, left back, and opposite side centre half. So when this happens and this player follows, there's this much space to be exploited through a direct ball over the top in behind. If the centre back stays, this is the striker receiving the ball in this gap, creating a 2v1 in that central space. And that all starts from the movement of that number 10. If that's you, this is very important for you. Moving away, being in line with the ball, or moving opposite side, because if this centre defensive midfielder follows you here, the 9 can receive the ball. If the centre defensive midfielder stays, which is most likely going to be the case, you're the free player. All the centre back has to do is step, and then there could be that line-breaking pass diagonally across the pitch. If you watch Chelsea, this is what they do really well. They play these vertical diagonal passes across the pitch onto their far side attacking midfielder who's open and available to take the ball on the half turn and drive forward. If, let's say, that's not possible with your centre-back's ability, this midfielder, as they receive the ball under pressure, this is where we're looking at midfield combination play. Under pressure, this player is away from the ball. If this player follows, we just said this pass can happen. And when this player drives, the centre defensive midfielder will be drawn towards the ball. And then this is where you can receive the ball and drive and make things happen in the final third. That's just one combination play. Another way could be where, let's say this is a scenario. The centre back plays this player under pressure, taking the touch. And then this is where you can make these types of runs, receiving the ball in your stride and driving at the defense. If you're the most advanced midfield player in your team, that's how you have to think. You have to think to receive the ball after the build phase. So you're the gap between the build up and the final third. This is you, you're the link. So can you be in positions where when you receive the ball, you can drive and make things happen? So it's very important that the midfielders operate on different lines. When this centre back has the ball, this one is moving away, this one is drifting towards the ball, and then this one is staying away from the ball. To be that option where if they can even go into here, this player can turn and find this one, and then the fullback is making an overlap, really pushing on, partnering up with the winger to create a 2v1 on the opposition fullback. This player is able to drive, and even then, when they push up the pitch, this player can drive, turn, play across to this one, a quick transfer of play, and that's how you can really create problems for the opposition. Through building on this side, finding this player can progress on this side of the pitch or transfer the play again, where this fullback can push up, and that's how you can really create problems. That's how you can really make the opposition shuffle, and then shuffle again, where there'll be gaps opening up where you can thread passes through the thirds and create chances and hopefully score goals. If, for example, the left back has the ball here, this midfielder can really push up to open up that space. This centre defensive midfielder can drift towards the ball a little bit to create that diamond. Very, very important. And now, this is where a partnership between the number 10 and the striker is important, because this gap between opposition midfielder and midfielder should be filled up by somebody, whether that's the number 10 drifting in or the striker dropping in. It could be the striker that drops in, and as we've just discussed earlier on, if the centre back follows, there's space in behind, or the striker can receive the ball, a diagonal pass straight through the middle. We've seen Nuno Mensch and Dembele have that partnership as well, where Nuno Mensch would play this pass into Dembele on the half turn, drive, Dembele will slide in Kvaratskhelia or Doué, and then they score goals from there. So whether it's the number 9 or it could be the number 10, the 10 drifts towards the ball, this player follows. When that happens, and this number 10 is following the centre defensive midfielder, as this fullback steps with pressure from the winger, and this winger is obviously staying on the touchline. So it's about trusting the midfielders to receive the ball under pressure. It all goes down to trust. So when this left back, for example, plays this player under pressure, and this is where this centre defensive midfielder doesn't follow the ball. All this player does is shift their body shape to face the ball, because this player will be drawn towards the ball a little bit. Very important. Not like that, but just a little bit drawn towards the ball. And this is where this number 8 sets this centre defensive midfielder who can turn, and now there's this much space. So this is why, for example, if this player stays here, they are able to receive the ball and drive forward. If not, for example, this winger can drift in. And if this fullback follows, this is where this fullback can push up the pitch. So do you notice that ripple effect? The moment you trust the players. So if you're a fullback watching this, trust your midfielders. If you're a midfielder, be confident, have that courage to be able to receive the ball under pressure and already have your decision made up. Whether that's a one-touch pass into here, or can you spin it around the corner and drive forward? If you have the ability, just watch Isco. He did this a lot. He had that trademark turn where he would take the ball with the outside of his safe foot. So in this case, it's the right foot. The foot that is furthest away from the defender is the right foot in this scenario. So as the ball comes in, take it away, and now you can drive with this player out of the game. Or it could be that set, knowing that this player is 2 yards away from the centre defensive midfielder. So this centre defensive midfielder is receiving the ball behind this line, able to turn and then play a pass to the far side. This centre attacking midfielder can be here, or they can be in between the lines. And then it's down to this player. Do they have the Busquets ability, that line breaking reverse pass into that gap between the lines? We've seen Messi pop up in these spaces a lot. Busquets playing Messi here, and now there's just only one situation here. Danger and chaos for the opposition. And another situation could be when this centre-back has the ball here. So, for example, this centre-back here. As they step with the ball, this midfield 3 move away and rotate. So this player, the centre defensive midfielder, moves here, dragging a player with them. This one moves towards the ball. And as they receive the ball, they're able to play these incisive passes straight down the middle vertically. So, as we've just looked at here, this player moves away, dragging this player drops in. There's always this gap between the player who's dropped in and the player marking them. There's always a gap. So as they receive the ball, they'll have pressure, and this is where they can take a touch with the pressure behind them, and then as they receive the ball with that pressure, can they play these vertical reverse passes straight down the middle, vertical football? Or if this player then realizes, okay, I'm going to move away, if this player follows, there's this space, can you play these types of passes through the thirds under pressure, facing this way? So that reverse pass is so effective because it makes you unpredictable. If it can be this pass, or it could be this player moves away, drops in, yes, they're being followed. Can it be a pass into this space and then taking the touch into that central space, literally creating that 3v3? And then this is where you can play these types of passes. So we're looking at a relational style of football in that central space, creating that 3v3, moving in and around that centre circle, receiving the ball, and then focusing on these incisive passes. So yes, you're receiving the ball under pressure, but this is where your first touch ability, your game understanding, your decision making is so important. Because if you can receive the ball in your stride under pressure, then perfect situation, you can play passes across the pitch, or once again, a reverse pass facing that way, and guess what you do? You play here, and this player can drive with the ball. That is extremely effective. And also, it's very important that these three midfielders are operating on different lines at all times. So if you're a midfielder watching this, hopefully you've sent this to your midfield partner and the other midfielder, so those three, and you're watching this together, hopefully, right? You three are operating on different lines, because the moment you're on a straight line, it's very easy for the opposition to have their compact structure. The moment this happens, and then this player follows, and this player moves away, and there's a triangle that's an irregular triangle, right? Different lengths and distances. I'm not going to go into the mathematics of it, but you know what I mean. That's when there are these gaps that open up to play passes in between the thirds. Because let's say there's an opportunity where this centre-back plays the pass into the furthest midfielder, which is probably the best pass in football, that diagonal vertical pass straight down the middle. When that happens, if this is you, you can rotate and support under the ball. Because just imagine this, right? When this pass goes in here and all you do is rotate and follow to receive a set, this player is now behind you. Just really focus on this, really imagine this, because it's so realistic, right? When this pass goes here and you rotate and you support under, this player is following you. So they are behind you. You can receive a set. In your stride, you're running onto the ball, so you have some momentum. This player can move out of the way, and you're just driving into that space. Or this player can move out here. You're just driving in with someone behind you, with your centre midfielder, with your opponent right behind you. But now you're facing the goal. You're running at the opposition back line. Now you can make things happen. So that movement where you support underneath, I can't stress how important that is. It's like a cheat code. It's like a weapon because it's so unpredictable. Let's say, for example, the pass goes in here, support underneath, under the ball. Because this player will be somewhere around here. You can always receive a set. Yes, you'll have pressure. And then if this fullback makes a run forward, you can play to the fullback. That's your job as a centre defensive midfielder, to be able to play forward, support under the ball, be that option to recycle. Because when this fullback drives with the ball, and then let's say there's nothing on forward, they can turn. Opposition would have shuffled across and play you. You could take a touch, play out to the opposite fullback who can drive. So there's always an opportunity to receive the ball when you support under the ball, which means when the ball goes ahead of you, support under the ball. So simple. When this centre back has the ball and has used the number 8, as the ball goes in, support under the ball. Support under the ball. How many times have I said support under the ball in this video? I don't know, drop it in the comments below. Because when you receive that set, you can play forward, you can drive, you can make things happen, which is your job as a centre midfielder, to be always involved in and around the ball, quick combination play, 1-2 touches, out to the wingers, out to the striker. That's your job. You're the dictator, you're the master of your team in that central space. If you can dominate here, 90% of the time your team will win the game. So once again, everything I've said in this video comes down to courage and confidence. When your centre back has the ball, the courage, the confidence to move away and then drop in, for you to show here for those quick combination plays, to find the free player and drive. If you don't have that courage and confidence, this won't work. So as a centre midfielder, the three of you need to transmit confidence, courage, bravery to the rest of your team. When the ball is out here, the movements to make a run in behind, to open up space for this one to receive the ball, and then a little combination out here with the fullback making a run forward. That goes down to bravery, chemistry, confidence, courage. So you three, as I've said so many times in this video, it's so important that you are on the same page. Because if you're not, sometimes it'll work, sometimes it wouldn't. Very important that you're training together, you're communicating, you're really getting these movements on point, where if the fullback goes up, you as the left-sided 8 can drop in, receive the ball, and then, because there's this much space here, if you're the far side number 8, you can take initiative, which is another important skill to have, move into this space. Then, the centre midfielder could receive the ball, one touch pass out to you, you can drive forward. You can do that. Or it goes out to this centre defensive midfielder who plays to the fullback, and then you're supporting here. As you receive the ball, this centre defensive midfielder has moved into this space. You, as the number 8 who's dropped in, you've moved around here, play the pass out here, and that's still the midfield 3, but they've just rotated into a different position. And that's the midfield 3 rotating, working together. Just watch Busquets, Xavi, Iniesta. How many times do they move into different positions to receive the ball and then play, and then receive it again, play, play, play. That's the mindset you need to have as a centre midfielder, because if you're having a great game, most likely so, your team will have a great game. Everything good goes through you, but also everything bad can go through you as well. So that's why you 3 in the middle, or you 2, or you 4, whoever's playing in the middle, you must work together. You must have that mindset of keeping your team in the ticking mode. Tick, 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 which means pass, 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 tick, boom, boom, boom. That's the mindset you need to have as a centre midfielder. Now, if you found this video valuable, which I really hope you did, and if you haven't, then I failed. If you found this video valuable, share it to another midfielder who needs to watch this, because I cannot stress how important these movements, these principles are that I've explained in this video. And if you want more ideas on centre midfield movements, check out my positions guide, which is in the link in my bio. Sorry, in my description, where I go through every single position in the beautiful game of football and I break it down in absolute detail. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.